Welcome back to Red vs. Blue, where we roast sacred cows over a mesquite fire and serve them up with all the Texas fixings. Let's start with that beloved bovine that's been chewing cud in America's political pasture since before the Cold War. You have to vote for one of the two major parties or your vote doesn't count. That, my friends, is the sacred cow of electoral guilt trip, the gospel according to Red vs. Blue. We've all been enrolled in the world's saddest group project, and your only choices are the guy who sets everything on fire or the one who stands there holding a bucket watching it all burn. Heaven forbid you should vote for someone who wasn't handpicked by Wall Street, focus tested by consultants, or co-signed by a super PAC with more lawyers than a drug cartel. Apparently, if you vote outside the duopoly, democracy collapses, puppies cry, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg's ghost loses her lace collar. But spoiler alert, you were never the problem. What they call a wasted vote is just a clever way to protect their monopoly. When you pull back the red and blue curtain, surprise, you're not wasting your vote by voting for a third party. You're wasting your integrity by voting for the lesser evil. These two rotting meat carts of a political system have delivered $34 trillion in debt, mass surveillance, endless wars with bipartisan applause, and inflation that makes ramen noodles look like a luxury item. See, you can't spoil a rigged system. It's already spoiled, rotting from the inside like a McDonald's cheeseburger left on a Texas dashboard in July. Yet, we're the one who's reckless for voting Libertarian or Independent. That's like blaming the fire extinguisher for getting in the way of your house burning down. Let's be honest, limiting the vote to one of the two major parties is like asking if you want syphilis or herpes. You can hold your nose, but it still stinks. The real reason third parties are blamed for ruining elections is because the two ruling parties are terrified that they'll actually have to compete. They don't want your vote, they want your surrender. They've convinced you that moral clarity is naive, that principles are for suckers, and that your role in the democracy is to rubber stamp whichever Frankenstein monster makes your skin crawl slightly less. And the people who are parroting "don't waste your vote" logic, they've already wasted decades voting for people who expanded government, eroded rights, and handed power to lobbyists with six-figure cufflinks. And they keep going back and getting lied to and then going back for more, like political Stockholm syndrome with yard signs. Here's a radical idea. What if voting were about supporting what you actually believe in? Now here's the truth they don't want you to hear. Your vote isn't supposed to be a gift to the winner. It's a message. It says, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. Libertarians, Independents, and other alternate party candidates aren't here to play referee in your red versus blue WWE match. We're here to shut the ring down because we believe that the power belongs to you, the people, not the RNC or the DNC. Libertarians, Independents, and other alternate parties aren't nibbling crumbs from the two-party table. We're building a new damn bakery, one with no corporate subsidies, no drone strikes, and no authoritarian frosting. Just actual freedom, not the counterfeit focus group-tested version that DC sells you. Despite what the partisans would have you believe, third parties don't split the vote. Splitting the vote presumes that you only have syphilis or herpes to choose from. Third parties and independents multiply the vote by offering real choices to the false dichotomy of red versus blue. They say, I'm not playing your rigged game, I'm flipping the board. And if enough of us stopped apologizing for thinking independently, maybe we'd stop being spoilers and start being the solution. So the next time someone tells you a vote for a third party is throwing away your vote, ask them why they keep throwing theirs at the same two parties who've already shown that they're willing to throw away their country for power. You want to save democracy? Stop voting like an abused spouse, hoping that this time they'll change. Reclaim your power and break the cycle. Because the real wasted vote is the one you cast for the future you already know is going to suck.